the Quasidb morning bulletin for the 23rd of the 6th, 2022. We'll risk off at the big picture and at the 24-hour change. The change was very subtle, like it was the last 2 days. So I think they're setting the trap. VIX is below 30, so that's probably worth keeping an eye on. We kind of want it below the yearly pivot, really, for bullishness. We're still above the yearly pivot. So that's the midpoint between the low and the high of the year. So that's obviously a key level. Oil, again, I admit I've not actually looked at the chart, but it's sentimentally a sell, and it has been all week. There's a big shift on the Euro USD, which is quite frustrating because we had the signal yesterday and they decided to change their mind, which is quite frustrating. So there's the Euro USD, it's slightly green, and pound yen is slightly green, but you want to be looking at dark colours really. Euro and Swiss strengthened over Asia, the yen strengthened a bit, and the dollar is still mega strong on the monthly. It's lost its weekly spot to the Swiss franc, and there's the dollar in the mixed section, pounds in the strong sell section with Aussie and Kiwi and gold, and got CAD, Swiss and Euro in the strong buy. Right, so if you're looking at Euro and wondering why it's going up, it's performing well, it's because it's sentimentally a strong buy. So you could look for Euro Oz potentially. That boat might have already sailed. If you look at the EA chart, it's going up a lot, and that's normally a risk off indication, the EA going up. Okay, so yeah, that's worth keeping an eye on your bubbles, and I'll talk about the signals in a bit. That's fine. This is because S&P rallied. It did exactly what I thought would happen, and we broke the 3,700 level, but it didn't go further below because it would mean that the retail guys were going to get paid, and then we rallied a great deal. And because the S&P rallied, the risky currencies, these two, they perform well. So even sentimentally, they're strong sell. Fundamentally, they perform quite well because the S&P rallied, and you know, the bonds, the yields, they dropped, and the stock market could rally on the back of a softer, you know, the yields. And yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens here. We want a steepening on the yield curve. We don't want an inversion. Where are we? So lots of red. So the indices are still sell, as you can see. Dollar yen is a buy, as you can see. Euro yen is a buy, and oil is a sell, and gold's a sell. S&P, so there's that breach of the 3,700 level, and then there's that rally that caused our signals to go a little bit askew, and because of that rally, the risky currencies they rebounded a lot, and you know, we went risk on. So because they sold it, you see, they sold it at the 3,700 break here, but they've gone along again. So I think we're going to see another test of that low. So just pull up our hourly chart, look at that candle wick there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours ago. So yeah, it's at midnight UK time. So that candle wick's obviously important, and we'll probably break that support because they've gone long. All right, so that should be probed. Gold, they've gone long, and so we should be falling. That's that. The yields, now I think if the 10-year pumps, and for some miracle we go to 3.24, we're not going to have an inversion. We want 323, 324, 325. So if they're going to engineer it so it goes to 324, we're not going to have an inversion at all. So the 10-year pump in, if it's going to do this, it's going to bring UJ up. Okay, so keep an eye on that. And if you want to know where to get this data, just look on your spreadsheet on the dashboard. Okay, here, there, on the dashboard, just there. And it only updates once a day, but you know, it doesn't move all that much, but it should be useful. Oops, let's go back to where I was. Yeah, that's fine. SLC's largest mover was EU. It moved 9%. Hopefully you can see that okay. There you go. So that's kind of frustrating because we had that EU signal and we went with the crowd on that move, on that dynamic move. They shorted it, and therefore we came up a lot. And it's just bad timing, I think, and the risk on flows as well didn't really help. But there was a mismatch. It's red and green, so it tells us to probably sit on your hands. Likewise for gold, we're red and green. And what you want to do is get things to match, okay? And let's zoom out again. Go back to normal. Yep. And so the AU is sticking out like a sore thumb. It is really sticking out. Location is 68.70 and the size is 5.58. It's lower and much larger than yesterday. So it's possible we might come down and probe that liquidity, that target. We're sticking out like a sore thumb. AU is a strong sell. Aussie is a strong sell. The Australian dollar basket. However, the dollar is also mixed. So if the USD comes over here, it's likely we're going to probe that liquidity below on AU 68.70. Now the signals, they perform quite poorly because of the risk on flows, and as you see, these are quite risky currencies that we were trading, especially the Aussie and the Kiwi. And the afternoon did improve, but we had some quite significant losses, like NU was a 59 pip loss, and it just rallied because we S&P it rocketed, and because of that the Kiwi appreciated and the dollar softened, and that's that. So lots of US data. Got PMI data from UK, so with the Euro data is probably it's in 35 minutes. Okay, so we've got quite a lot of data, and we've got the Powell testimony as well. So this is going to be a big mover, and I thought this was yesterday. I thought the testimony was yesterday, but I was clearly wrong. But it's today at that time. So keep an eye on that, and you should be okay. And I won't change anything on the signals because they're going incredibly well up till yesterday, where we had a small loss, well, medium-sized loss. So if this happens on a regular occurrence, we'll look at the signals and include a fundamental check somehow, but I won't change anything to the algorithm. Just note that if we're going to rally and you're going to look to buy or you're looking to sell the Aussie, you're going against the fundamental flows, because the Aussie USD should track risk, and when S&P comes up, AU should come up as well, should, in speech marks. Likewise with AJ, if the S&P rallies, it should bring this up with it, because it's bond yield related and risk on, risk off lows. So we'll see how we go. We're still up a lot because we're up 400 pips last week. So this is like it's just pretty much like nothing really to be too concerned with, but it's slightly frustrating. But just a reminder to check your fundamental flows, and then you should be fine. And not to take every single one, but cherry pick what looks appropriate. Perhaps perhaps one looks better than the other, so you could wait for the one that you want to appear, or something like that. So we'll see how we go, and I'm going to go back to bed because I went to a birthday party and I'm really tired. So I'll speak to you guys at some point today, but if you need me to check anything, let me know, and so I can do some charts for you. Let me know in the afternoon. It might be too late because I might be out, so I'll speak to you later, and have a good day.